Hi.
All had your breakfast already? Yeah? Good, I haven't yet. So, thank you all for coming to CoVE. This is my eSports hub, and basically we actually started in March, and we wanted to actually be one of the best cyber cafes in Malaysia. And with the equipments that we actually got, apparently we are also probably one of the best in Southeast Asia now. And I mean, it's amazing that ASUS has this kind of products, because I think at this point in time in the Southeast Asian region, I think esports needs to go up to a different level, and only with these kind of PCs and equipments can we actually portray that kind of direction. So right now what you see over here is all the PCs over here have are all the same specs inside and outside, and that's because I want to give them the same kind of experience. That means I don't want it to be different specs here and different specs there and different specs everywhere, and because I feel like players and gamers, they all should have the same feedback. So they have the same experiences. Let's say you come here and play on a higher specs, and I come here and play on lower specs. You will have a better experience, and I will have not that good of an experience. And so everything over here has the same specs, and it's 240 Hertz, 1080 Ti, i7 8th Gen. Everyone needs to actually have a good time, and of course we have the racing simulators over here, which is one of our highlights as well. As you can see, it's thermal take and a lot of other products over here as well. And recently we held a major event in Sunway Pyramid, this shopping mall over here, for racing. It was a Toyota event, and 400 participants and 30,000 people showed up throughout that event. And it was a major success. And let me just walk you guys through. Just come on by and we can actually check it out. Later on, if you want to play some racing and play some games, sure, we'll have some fun. So these items were all imported. You don't find this in Malaysia, not even in Singapore actually. So we had to import all of these chairs and thrustmasters and whatnot. Of course, it's all about comfort, because back in the day, esports and computer gaming has been given a very, very bad connotation, where parents don't approve of it and children are addicted to it, and the vibe is very dark and it's very dodgy and weird. So we wanted to give it a very bright feel and a very comfortable feel, just like how cafes, people come into cafes, drink coffee and relax, and the environment is nice and friendly and comfortable. And I think it's one of the most important things that we actually make it feel like home. So that, my target audience really is not the gamers, because gamers are going to come anyway, right? They will come and play even if their parents say no. But my target audience are the parents, right? I want them to be able to tell their kids, if you want to play any computer games, you come to CoVE. So when parents come and see these kind of places, they immediately feel comfortable in sending their child here. And with that being said, we also try to hold certain regulations. Like we had a tournament that happened from March until August of this year, and it's an inter-university tournament, and ASUS also was they also were one of the main sponsors for this event as well. And we wanted to make sure that education and esports also needs to be on the same level, and it's a very, very important thing. So what we did by doing that was we actually implied a grade requirement. So you can't really play in this tournament if you don't meet a certain grade. And so we had to make sure that was implemented, because at the end of the day, parents are always going to tell their kids, if you don't study well, you don't get to play your computer games, right? Or if you don't study well, you don't get to go to your overseas and you don't get to go for holidays. So these are the kind of things that we're trying to, balance out over here. I think it's that's one of the most important things, because like I said earlier, addiction, people always write about addiction for computer gaming and how it takes away from your focus and whatnot. But over here, what we have to try to do is to show people that esports actually can be used to something that's good, like communication skills, like strategizing, like, you know, I don't know, reflexes and whatnot, right? And that's it. For that, actually, esports has helped me out a lot back in the day as well. Sure, back in the day, I did not have a platform like this and whatnot, and so my studies went down the drain, and I was failing, and my mother was scolding me and said you can't play computer games anymore and whatnot. And look at what has happened today, you know, like she's one of my biggest supporters, and I'm also doing esports right now. So like, you know, I think we want to actually get into doing programs for schools as well, like high schools as well, because one of the important things over here is that high school students, there's a high skipping class rate, right? They skip school, they skip classes and whatnot. And the thing is that like we want to try and penetrate into that as well, because it's very, very important to show that if you can actually coincide curricular activities with esports, then perhaps maybe the students will stay in school, right? Perhaps they will not skip school. Like these are the kind of things. I think fundamental issues over here need to be addressed, and we are, you know, having stuff like ASUS's products over here is something that can actually push that even further. And that is also because, you know, it comes down to, of course, the comfort and all of that, but you're looking at grades of PC grade specifications that are way higher than anyone out here, you know, put together actually. And so, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, David actually has been very, very helpful in all of these kind of things. You know, we actually had to clear the stocks out because, you know, people were wondering like, why are we getting 240 hertz? Why are we getting like 1080 Ti? And, you know, some people say it's overkill, but I say it's for the future, right? Because right now we also already have the second gen of NVIDIA as well. And now that's not going to come into play because it's so expensive. So having 1080 Ti and 240 hertz sets us up for at least like another 5 years. And who knows, maybe even before that we'll be able to, you know, invest in much higher specs. Of course with ASUS, because, you know, they have been nothing but helpful to all of us as well. You know, very, very supportive. So yeah, any questions so far? Anyone has, or was I kind of going too fast, or, you know?
Sorry, so your TA is parents and kids?
Yes, yeah. So I want to, how should I put this? I want parents to tell their kids it's okay to go into esports, it's okay to do all of these kind of things, but there has to be certain requirements. That means you have to pass. You have to actually be on a certain kind of mental attitude. Then only you are able to come through, right? So we have to, by doing that, we have to set up certain platforms that allows for parents to say, sure, you get to go here, right? For, let's say for our tournament that was done over the last like 6 months, they need to have a grade requirement. If they don't have a grade requirement, they get suspended. Sorry, that's just how it is. It's the same thing like in America. You have your football associations and you have your basketball associations. How good the player is, that doesn't matter. If you don't pass your exams, you don't come in, right? So that is the same kind of mentality that we're trying to put out over here, because ultimately we have to say that the Europeans and the Americans